Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we have another brand new Haolonggood model to take a look at, and I must say, Haolonggood is absolutely killing it right now, producing some of the best dinosaur models that I've ever seen in my entire life. We recently reviewed their Nasutoceratops. We are now taking a look at the Ouranosaurus, which is easily one of my favorite herbivores to have ever existed. Just always been such a big fan of this species, so I was beyond excited to find out that Haolonggood was releasing one, because we have very little out there. We have like the Batat version, and we have a recurve version, I think, and then of course the Mattel version. I don't really recall too many others outside of those. There may be a few stragglers I'm not remembering, but not very many, that's for sure. Definitely an overlooked species. You can see that both versions are here, both different paint variants, and you can also see that as far as the boxes go, they are the same. There is no difference between either box. Here on the front of the box, you can see the species name. We can also see that it is 1/35th scale, and you can of course see the Haolonggood logo down there, as well as, again, kind of a sneak peek there of the figures. And then on the underside, we've got a whole lot of information. On the opposite side, almost the same thing, same images of the dinosaurs pretty much, but different placement of the logos and everything. And then up here on the top, you can see an image here showing off some of the other figures that are in the Haolonggood line. I think everybody's here, excluding the Quetzalcoatlus and one paint variant of the T-Rex, if I can recall correctly. But definitely really cool stuff. Really psyched to see these, so let's pop them out of the box and check them out right now. And here are our Ouranosaurus from Haolonggood, and wow, are those ever beautiful. Like, yet again, gorgeous color schemes, gorgeous colorations, really nice and natural. This is one where, like, last time I could choose a favorite, and, it was the kind of like brownish version that they had going on, was definitely my favorite of the two Nasutoceratops, but in this case, I don't think I could choose a favorite. Like, no matter which way you go, they're both fantastic looking, super nice looking sculpts, of course, and super nice looking paint jobs on top of that. So really, really excited about this. Again, I love Ouranosaurus, so I am beyond excited to have a really good representation of that species. So let's jump to a closer look at them right now. So we'll begin with this really nice kind of partially bluish version. You can see the head sculpt looks absolutely gorgeous. Really nice looking skin texture, really nice looking overall head shape, skull shape. We've got some nice yellowish tones up here on the top leading down into the beak of our Ouranosaurus. The nostrils are sculpted out, and you can see we transition to a nice variation of a brown down there on the beak. That as well looks great. The mouth itself is sculpted very nicely. Really smooth transitions between those colors. You can see we also have a darkening here around the eye with a variation of a brown. The eye is painted very nice, very carefully. Nice black pupil added to it as well. If we take a look over here at the opposing side of the head, again, really nice, really precise paint work, like we are absolutely coming to know Haolonggood by, because they have some of the best paint applications that I've seen on any dinosaur models. As you lead back here, you can see the ear right there at the back of the head, leading down into the neck. We've got some nice looking scale detail, as well as some nice looking wrinkling and skin creasing and everything. The throat is nicely elaborated down here on the underside as well. Really, again, smooth transition to that lighter tone of the underbelly. And then we have like a variation of like an orangish brown as we lead up. We also have a really, really appealing looking blue. And you can see that blue just absolutely shines on the figure. As you continue to lead along, you lead down here into the front leg. You can see, again, that skin texture is phenomenal. Really nice looking scale detail. Again, some more creasing and wrinkling and stuff. As you lead down, nice muscle definition sculpted out. We have some more really nice, really subtle variation of color, as we have those kind of like orangish browns and stuff leading down, but you can also see there's some like variations of browns, like darker browns, picking up and everything here in the arm, just kind of spotting, just giving some nice depth to the paint job. As you lead down into the foot sculpt, you've got some nicely painted nails there. I'm actually pretty surprised to see that we don't have like that claw over here off to the side, which is pretty surprising, but it still looks really quite nice. You can see again a nice walking pose for the dinosaur as this foot is about to, land onto the ground as the dinosaur's walking along. As you lead up here, you can see more creasing right here behind the front leg, leading into the stomach region as my camera continues to lose focus. There's some nice wrinkling there in front of the thigh because the leg's pushing into the stomach region. That looks really, really nice. And again, the skin texture looks great as you move through. Really vibrant scale detail. There's also some osteoderms picking up here and there, and you can see again more variation of color as we have those kind of orangish tones. We've also got those browns that are really nice, really subtle as far as their application. Like, they're not really dark or anything. They're just kind of lightly added to the model to give it a really cool design, and it looks really, really neat the way that they've painted that. As you lead up into the upper part of our Ouranosaurus, pretty much the trademark of the dinosaur, you can see that we have again those nice blues leading along the upper part, and we also have more of those browns kind of meshing with it. And look at how smooth the transition is down from those blues back into those kind of like orangish or like peachish sort of tones. It looks really nice. As you lead out here a little bit further, you do see the blues kind of taper off, and then that kind of like lighter tone primarily takes up the entire body, with again those browns kind of mixing and meshing through the course of the body. We have the hip bone protruding from the skin right here as you lead down. Really nice kind of osteoderms and scale detail moving down the course of the thigh. Nice large thigh, more skin wrinkles and stuff in the back of the thigh, even more leading down into the joint of the knee. The knee itself is nicely sculpted as well, and we transition to a darker tone as we lead down into the rear foot sculpt. Even a little hint of blue back here as well. Just a little subtle addition of that blue back there. You can see the, well, you could if my camera would focus on it, but you can see the foot sculpt looks really nice back here. Again, nicely painted nails. Man, it doesn't want to focus on that foot. But as you lead out into the tail, you have more skin wrinkles and skin folds and stuff. Quite a bit of that going on there. More of the brown designing out kind of a striping effect as you lead out, and we do transition to a nice blue again out there on the tail. Looks like we have a little bit of paint chipped off of mine, but it looks really nice. The paint application on this is fantastic. And as you lead on the underside, you can see a nice light tone. Again, super vibrant scale detail. We do have a cloaca, and they have added a little bit of color variation to that area to highlight that fact. And the entire underside looks great as you move along. You're not going to see too much difference on this side compared to the initial side. We can see that the head is turned to the right, but not enough to really make a dramatic difference when it comes to the appearance on this side compared to the initial side. As you lead along, you can see this leg is supporting the weight of the front part of the body because this leg is about to plant, as this leg is planted. The muscle definition looks good again as you lead through, and as you lead back here, you can see the skin stretching off of the stomach here into the thigh a little bit. You can also see this foot picking up off of the ground, again showing the walking motion of the dinosaur. And we also have, again, a really, really nice, very highly detailed appearance to the body, as well as gorgeous paintwork moving along. But that's really about it. That's going to differ on this side, I think, compared to the initial side. Really nice curve in the tail as well. Just a really subtle curve, small curve, nothing over the top. And, man, that is definitely, honestly, a breath of fresh air to have an Ouranosaurus now in my collection, and one that looks as gorgeous as this. And then we have the alternate paint variant. Now, they are the exact same sculpt, just different paint schemes, just like we saw on the Nasutoceratops, and just like you usually see on Haolonggood models. But you can see we have some nice greenish tones for the face. You also have some yellows and oranges leading down into the beak of the dinosaur. We've got a lighter tone there kind of around the eye, leading along the upper part of the head. Yellow eye with a black pupil. And as you lead down the course of the neck, you have these really nice light greens that start to pick up and stripe through the course of the body there, of the neck. And you also have a light variation of green for the primary body color. But you can again see a nice lighter tone for the underside. And as you continue to lead along, you have those stripes that just look so flashy, just so natural at the same time, but incredibly flashy moving along the course of the body. We also have some more oranges up here on the top of the body here moving along in between those white stripes. And I apologize if you hear any banging or noises in the background as my children are playing with their nephews. But as you continue to move through the body, you have that really nice designing here. You have some more of those nice greens. You have that lighter tone here leading back from the back of the thigh into the thigh here, again meshing with those greens. And then you transition to a darker tone down here for the foot. Nicely painted nails yet again. And then as you lead up here, you have more of that striping leading out as the tail transitions to an orange out here on the tip. We have more of those stripes out there. Again, is an absolutely incredible looking paint scheme on the Ouranosaurus. Like, it 100% looks natural, but at the same time flashy enough to really draw you in. Just a gorgeous paint scheme, really nice application as well. Everything is super, super smooth and naturalistic. Like I said, Haolonggood is killing it right now, and they completely knocked both of these Ouranosaurus straight out of the park. As far as a size goes, for a length from the tail to the snout, about 8¼ inches or 21 centimeters. And then for a height, about 3¼ inches or just shy of 8½ centimeters for a size comparison. There is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, and Robert Muldoon from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line next to our Haolonggood Ouranosaurus. And you can see that they are a really quite nice size without being too large. Honestly, again, at 1/35th scale, they're pretty much where you would expect them to be. You can see they're not too much larger than the Colovosaurus from Mattel. But for another comparison, just to simplify things, we'll do one figure here in comparison. But we have the Ouranosaurus next to the Nasutoceratops from Haolonggood, and they look incredibly cool together. The only thing I think that I'm seeing on the Ouranosaurus that's kind of something I would have liked to have seen that I do see on the Nasutoceratops is a dark wash. Definitely think a dark wash could have helped to add a little element of realism to the figure, but it still looks, again, absolutely phenomenal. And then for another comparison, here is the Haolonggood Quetzalcoatlus next to the Ouranosaurus, yet again, giving you a good idea of a size if you happen to have the Quetzalcoatlus. We've also got the PNSO Iguanodon here next to the Ouranosaurus, just to help to give you another idea of a size, and for, again, a few more randoms. A nice little gathering of randoms for a comparison, as we have the Schleich Diabloceratops, Safari LTDU Tyrannus, and Collecte Dimetrodon. But for even more comparisons, we have what I previously would have said was the best Ouranosaurus out there, the Batat version, next to our incredibly beautiful Haolonggood version. And for a final comparison, we have the Haolonggood version of the Ouranosaurus next to the Recurve version, just to iron out one final comparison for you guys. So this brand new Haolonggood Ouranosaurus is absolutely gorgeous. Two incredible versions of this dinosaur, and honestly, not long ago, I was pretty much begging anyone to make a figure of this species because it's just always so overlooked, and I am beyond psyched to see that Haolonggood stepped up because they've been killing it completely lately, like just delivering some of their best figures they've ever released, and yet again, I absolutely would rate both of these very high on my list of favorites from Haolonggood. Definitely two of their best so far, and that doesn't look to be ceasing anytime soon as they're just delivering, again, some of the best that they ever have. And both of these Ouranosaurus are gorgeous as far as the sculpt, extremely highly detailed, taking highly detailed, honestly, to new heights when it comes to figures like this. And on top of that, we have a really nice kind of a walking pose, nice naturalistic pose where you can kind of buy quite a few of them and maybe have them herd together. It definitely looks like the type of positioning for kind of like a herd of Ouranosaurus to be maybe moving through. And we also, again, have two different paint variants, just like we did with the last round of Nasutoceratops. And yet again, just like with those Nasutoceratops, we have two different incredible paint variants. Two extremely flashy, yet at the same time very natural paint schemes for these figures. And I love how good Haolonggood is at coming up with paint schemes for their figures where they look really natural, but at the same time, like really flashy, like they really draw you in. Every time I see one of their paint schemes, I'm like, oh, wow, look at that. That is beautiful. No different here with these Ouranosaurus, and this is honestly a harder choice than it was for the Nasutoceratops. I really don't think I could pick a favorite between these two, so absolutely incredible yet again on the part of Haolonggood, two of, I would say, my favorite figures from them ever. So if you are interested in purchasing these for yourself, I will include a link in the description to where I purchased mine from, Lana Time Shop. So make sure you check that link. I really recommend grabbing both of these Ouranosaurus, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.